An introduction to the Unitarian Universalism on the UUA homepage cites love as the foundation. It adds, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. Love is the center of today's service.
This morning's words of welcome come from Dan Lambert. As we proclaim worth, you are welcome here, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what your background. You are welcome here to join us as we proclaim worth in our spiritual journeys. You are welcome to join us as we sing songs that uplift our very beings. You are welcome to join us in community as we learn, live, and love together. All are welcome as we worship that which gives us each meaning and value. No matter what you call this building, this hour, this gathering of people, we worship as one body, illuminated by the light of the chalice. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to People's Church. Whether this is your first time or you come every Sunday or anywhere in between, I welcome you. My name is John McClellan, and I'm from the Sunday Services Committee. People's Church is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association and part of a tradition of liberal religion. Here, our mission is to be a beloved community embracing and serving our diverse world. Welcome. There are no official announcements this morning, but I would like to encourage you to continue signing up for Bazaar activities in the foyer and online.
I invite you all to rise and bow your spirit to sing our opening song with our choir. If you don't know it, that's okay. Do your best.
Give good gifts one to another, peace, joy, and comfort gladly bestow. Father, and sister or brother, smooth life's journey as you onward go. Give good gifts one to another, peace, joy, and comfort gladly bestow. Honor no link and sister or brother, smooth life's journey as you onward go. Broad as the sunshine, free as the showers, so shed an influence lasting to prove. Give for the noblest of efforts to rise. Blessed and be blessed is the Lord above. Broad as the sunshine, free as the showers, so shed an influence lasting to prove. Give for the noblest of efforts to rise. Blessed and be blessed is the Lord above.
I'd like to call Aurora up to light our chalice. Candle malfunction. All right. The Light Within Us by Brian C. Lee. We light our chalice as a symbol of the light within us and the life that flows through the world around us. It is our beacon as we search for truth. It is the warmth in our hearts for love. And it is the energy that propels us to action. May we be kindled by our time together.
I would love to invite anybody up who wants to hear a story. Hi, Ty. Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to see you all here today. Today, I want to tell you a story about a grandma and her grandson who were walking through the forest. They like to spend a lot of time in the forest together, and they love to find really interesting things. And that grandson had really great powers of observation. He could see things that average people couldn't find because they blended in. Sometimes they would find really cool feathers. Do you guys know what these feathers came from? Yes! Do you want to have one? Yeah. Sometimes they found really interesting leaves that had all sorts of different colors and different shapes and different sizes. Sometimes they found really cool rocks and fossils. You already have 2 feathers. Share. Sometimes they found really little feathers, little blue jay feathers, all sorts of different kind of cool things. Every time they went in the woods, they found all sorts of interesting things. And the other thing that this grandma really liked to do is she loved to tell stories to her grandson. And one day, as they were walking in the woods, she started to tell him a story about 2 wolves who were fighting. And he really liked fighting, so he thought that was pretty cool. And these 2 wolves were having a battle. And one of the wolves had a lot of characteristics and qualities of being very kind and generous, being loving, being very, what are some other words? Like what? That are like that. Kind, loving, generous, gentle, respectful, nurturing. Yes. Yes. The other wolf tended to be way more afraid and mean and jealous and hateful, unkind. And so, basically, these 2 wolves were having a big fight. And the grandson said to his grandmother, "Who won the fight between the 2 wolves?" And the grandmother told the grandson, "It depends which one is fed." Fed? What does that mean? every single one of us and in the whole world, these wolves exist. They are out in the world and they're inside of us. And one wolf inside of us is kind and generous and loving and gracious like you. And sometimes also inside of us is a tendency to be afraid and to be jealous and to be mean and to be unkind. But what does that mean? Whichever wolf we feed is the one who wins. What do you think? The one we let show? What else? So inside every one of us, we can have a choice inside of us of how we choose to think, feel, and act. And whether we're feeding the one that's really afraid, which is always there, or we're feeding the one that's really kind and generous and equitable. Some people say that there are only two paths that we have in life: the path of fear or the path of love. And the question is, every day, all throughout the day, we ask ourselves, which one will we choose? Which one will we feed? The one that is kind. Hazel, I'm so glad that you are choosing that one. The more we choose the one that is kind and loving over the one that is fearful and angry and sad, the whole world is kinder. Yep, exactly. So you're choosing the wolf that is kind too? All right, thank you so much. I hope we will always choose that as much as we possibly can. All right, let us go to our classes. You can keep it or give it back, whatever you want.
In search of wisdom, with love to guide you on your way, and may the joy of life surround you wherever you may go. Go forth in peace, in search of wisdom, with love to guide you on your way, and may the joy of life surround you wherever you may go.
The purpose of the church is to encourage all who gather there to grow more generous in spirit and in action. This is the great end of all the world's faith traditions, to bring the human being closer to the divine by acts of creation and compassion. We now take an offering that allows us to exercise that all-important generosity of spirit, an offering that will support the self-supporting church and its many ministries. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received.
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this, oh my soul. What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's ground, friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul, friends to me will sing, I will sing to love and to all friends. I will sing to love and to all friends. All pain and sorrow mend with thanks unto the end. I will sing, I will sing with thanks unto the end. I will sing.
Please join me in giving thanks for all that sustains us. From the countless gifts we each have been given, gifts of life and love and sustenance, we bring these small portions to share in the works of love which none of us can accomplish alone. Each Sunday, we take a moment to share with one another the joys and sorrows, concerns, and milestones in our lives. If you're here in person, I invite you to come forward, place a stone in the bowl of water, and speak briefly. For those on Zoom who would like to share, please type your message into the chat box, and we will read your message aloud. If you would prefer not to share the details, you may simply drop a stone in the bowl or type the word stone in the chat box, and we will keep you in our thoughts. We'll pause the recording so that you have some measure of privacy. Thank you. I will now place a few more stones for the joys and sorrows that go unspoken, those in our community, and those in the world around us.
Your Inner Voice by Anthony St. Martin. Intuition goes before you, showing you the way. Emotion follows behind to let you know when you go astray. Listen to your inner voice. It is the calling of your spiritual GPS system, seeking to keep you on track toward your true destiny.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion.
There are two readings. First, from Paul Tillich's book, Honest to God. The name of this infinite and inexhaustible depth and ground of being is God. That depth is what God, the word God, means. And if that word has not much meaning for you, translate it and speak of the depths of your life, of the source of your being, of your ultimate concern, of what you take seriously without any reservation. Perhaps in order to do so, you must forget everything traditional that you have learned about God, perhaps even the word itself. For if you know that God means depth, you know much about him. You cannot, therefore, call yourself an atheist or unbeliever. For if you cannot think or say, life has no depth, life is shallow, being itself is surface only, if you could say this in complete seriousness, you would be an atheist. But otherwise, you are not. He who knows about depth knows about God. Second is from Gearing, from the book From the Big Bang to God, and he's referring to Feuerbach. But Feuerbach did not disparage the idea of God as the atheists did and still do. He went beyond the debate between the theist and atheist and reached a much more positive conclusion by recognizing the real essence of the word God and the role it had played. Feuerbach claimed that the reality of God consists of the attributes assigned to the imagined deity, as illustrated by the Bible's assertion that God is love. The attributes that comprise God represent the projection of our highest moral qualities, such as love, justice, compassion, and forgiveness, onto a cosmic backdrop. Even when the imagined divine being disappears, these values remain. Though they are human values, it is to them that we must respond as our forebears responded to God.
love I need.
On August 2nd, 2023, an affirmation popped into my head. It went, "I will be a fountain of love." It had a musical flow. I don't recall ever hearing that expression before. That line kept running through my mind. It seemed to express something from deep inside in a powerful new way. That feeling motivated me. I sat down and wrote the whole song. As I moved through the next few days, I began seeing myself in new ways. The metaphor seemed to guide me. It reminded me to notice people around me in a deeper way. I often made eye contact with people and smiled. I looked for something we might have in common or something revealing that we might connect around. I wanted people to feel seen and not to feel invisible. I had often given $5 to people looking for a handout. I'm now more apt to ask them how they're doing and to give them maybe quite a bit more. I find that the metaphor also comes into play on a larger scale when Jackie and I are looking at our finances and deciding on our donations. It motivates me to contact people I care about who may not realize I'm thinking about them. It's starting to guide my decisions about social justice. Looking back over my journal, I found several references to my fountain of love metaphor. They provide some evidence of its impact. I'll share two that have particular relevance. September 16th, 2023. I have felt a need to take a break. An occasional 20-minute relaxation might help. I'd also like a longer one, at least a day. My fountain feels a little dry. February 25th, 2024. I think I found my new spiritual home here in Kalamazoo, the People's Church, Unitarian Universalist. The message was about the proposed changes in the bylaws of the UU Association. It places love at the center. I kept thinking about how my fountain of love metaphor would fit in a powerful way, perhaps. I think my song might fit in as well. The image of a fountain communicates love as action or activity, not as feeling or emotion. It's easy to see careers like nurses and teachers and doctors and preachers as potential instances of flowing love. Looking back on my career as a science educator, I can sort of see that as a flow of love as I worked to make things better for teachers and students in classrooms, which I have often affirmed about my career. Looking back, I think my metaphor might have been helpful back then. I find that it often reminds me what's most important in my busy life. I think anyone can be a fountain of love. A grocery clerk can see their service as a flow of love, with friendly greetings and attention to those being served. While helping the water to flow in a house, a plumber can see that as love flowing through that service and empathetic attention to those being served. Anyone can see themselves as a fountain of love in their everyday interactions with others. Children might be introduced to the idea and encouraged to apply it in their play, perhaps even singing my song. I don't recall any specific trigger for that first Mountain of Love affirmation, but its roots lie in the spiritual foundation I was blessed to have gained from loving parents, grandparents, school and Sunday school teachers, family, others, and my friends. I grew up on a farm in a small town in western New York. My parents were pillars of the local Methodist church. I was active in the Methodist Youth Fellowship. The message I received from these sources was, be a good person. I recall a youth fellowship rally when I was in high school, where we took communion in groups of 12 in honor of Jesus' Last Supper. I reflected on that experience on the way home. I was moved by my sense of the love embodied in that action and in the story. I recalled that Jesus washed his disciples' feet. There was something important there for me. I felt changed. The experience gave me a more focused sense of my faith. That sensing of Jesus' love has remained with me and motivated me throughout my life. I've often struggled to find meaning in much of traditional God language and have often fallen short. The message of Jesus' great commandments has been a beacon guiding my life. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. The commitment to love God has been a challenge for me. I have rejected the literal interpretation of God as a supernatural being pulling strings in the world, at least since my college days and probably even earlier. I have a deep sense of faith. However, I have struggled to find the words to articulate that affirmation that my soul longs to express. The reading from Paul Tillich's Honest to God was important to me as a young adult. From my own life experience, I had readily affirmed that life is not shallow, that life does have depth. With Tillich's reasoning, I was not, therefore, an atheist. Today, I would affirm that life need not be shallow and that life can have depth. However, I believe it takes a community of love to fulfill that potential. With that affirmation, I still do not consider myself an atheist. My own theology has developed in recent years. I was inspired by a course from the Great Courses website entitled Big History, The Big Bang, Life on Earth, and the Rise of Humanity. Last summer, I gave a sermon entitled Participatory Creation, including a scientific creation story, where the entire universe participates in ongoing creation. Humans have been created, but we also create. With humans probably or possibly unique in being able to reflect and decide what we're going to create. As I affirmed in that sermon, the gifts and opportunities provided through the great mystery of creation are enough. I need not ask for more. Love is central to fulfilling the potential of these gifts, both individually and collectively. To love all the world's people with all my heart and with all my soul and with all my mind and with all my strength is the closest I can come to loving God. My reading of Greeley and his summary of Feuerbach have been helpful in my thinking about the idea of God. And I'll just read a part of that. The attributes that comprise God represent the projection of our highest moral qualities, such as love, justice, compassion, and forgiveness, onto a cosmic background. Even when the imagined divine being disappears, these values remain. Though they are human values, it is to them we must respond as our forebears responded to God. So it was in the context of these ideas and history and affirmations that the affirmation, "I will be a fountain of love," arose in my mind. My use of the fountain metaphor is usually focused on the recipients of love, but I have also found that experiencing myself as a fountain of love has given me something. A member of our sermon writing group suggested a name for that something, an identity, a new sense of who and what I am. I am a fountain of love, at least I try to be. The behaviors I described are not entirely new, but the metaphor captures and enhances something of my essence that I have struggled to express. Although I am not yet an official member, I like the idea of being a Unitarian fountain of love. So, I have an identity I can affirm without reservation. However, as evidence in my journal entry asserting my need to take a break, and in my song, there are times my fountain cannot find the love I need. That love your fountains can provide. Then let your love flow over me and help my fountain flow again. The need for love and the actions that love motivates is vast. It can be overwhelming, and events in our own lives can challenge us to the core. When we are depleted, our own fountains can run dry. I've thought about the times when my fountain was most depleted. When my infant son died shortly after birth, when I nearly had a nervous breakdown, when my ex-wife announced she wanted a divorce. At those times, the flow of love from my community was there to sustain and renew me. Take a moment to think of yourself as a fountain of love in your family, in your work, in your activities here at People's. Does someone you know need your love to flow over them today? Do you need some love to flow over you today? I'm finding People's Church to be a collective fountain of love. I've already been nurtured by that love. I've found the fountain of youth, fountain of love, I've found the fountain of love metaphor to be helpful in my daily life. Further, it has helped me to understand and express the deep sense of faith I have felt since my youth. It's my thought and my hope that the fountain of love metaphor might be useful to you in this congregation. May it be so. May we make it so. Amen.
Thank you, Ed. At this time, I will invite you to rise and bow to your spirit to sing our closing song together. Make channels for the streams of love where they may broadly run, and love has overflowing streams to fill them everyone. But if at any time we cease such channels to provide, the very fountains of love for us will soon be parched and dried. For we must share if we would keep this gift on us above. We cease to give, we cease to have, such is the law of love.
As I mentioned in my sermon, there have been many times in my life when my fountain has run dry. But there have always been fountains of love around me. Sometimes the biggest obstacle has been my hesitancy to reach out and open myself to their flow. May we all be open to the flow from the many fountains of love here at People's Church. Will you join me in singing the chorus of my song?